Soul Land Episode 183 Original Novel DouLuo DaLu. Chapter 216. Water-repelling Cosmic Shroud. There was a white stone strip in the front of the Abyssal Dragon boat. When the Abyssal Dragon boat was above water, the rock strip was white, and if it was under water, it would immediately turn blue, starting to turn red as time passed. When it was completely red, that meant there wasn't enough air in the boat, and they had to surface to breathe. Breathing in the humid sea air, wrong side. Let alone 10,000 gold spirit coins, this Abyssal Dragon boat is worth even 100,000. Besides not having any offensive or defensive abilities, it's practically perfect. If I'd known earlier it was this useful, why would we have bothered chartering a ship? Tang San smiled slightly, saying. We still needed sea charts. The charts we have on hand now are the crystallization of years of drafting by the Purple Pearl Pirates. We didn't have anything this good back when we went to sea. DouLuo Bai said. Little San, this Abyssal Dragon boat is astonishingly fast, can't we rely on this speed to directly charge to Sea God Island? Tang San shook his head. I'm afraid not. No matter how fast the Abyssal Dragon boat is, it's still a ship. It can't compete with creatures native to the sea, let alone so many demonic great white sharks. If we're surrounded in the deep, no matter how deep we are, we'll lose any chance of surviving. DouLuo Bai frowned. Then what? Don't tell me we'll always be waiting like this? That's no way to do it. Tang San pondered, and said. We'll just wait for nightfall. Only, we still have to make some experiments before then. If we succeed, landing on Sea God Island isn't a problem. While speaking, the space between his eyebrows brightened, the vast sea cosmic shroud falling into his palm, glittering with blue light. The Shrek 7 devils were all intelligent, and seeing the vast sea cosmic shroud their minds immediately shook. The experiment Tang San wanted to do was very simple. If the vast sea cosmic shroud could hide the Abyssal Dragon boat, then, in this sea, even 100,000-year spirit beasts couldn't threaten them. Back when they encountered the deep-sea demon whale, due to the 100,000-year spirit beast appearing too suddenly, and moreover attacking the entire area, Tang San had no way of using the vast sea cosmic shroud to protect everyone. But now was different. He had ample time to prepare. With the Abyssal Dragon boat's speed, as long as the vast sea cosmic shroud's hiding effect worked in the sea, then they could land on Sea God Island easily. Closing the hatch once again, Tang San also simultaneously released his vast sea cosmic shroud's vast sea barrier. Blue light flashed, enveloping the entire Abyssal Dragon boat. However, something unexpected happened. With the feeling of the surroundings becoming empty, the Dragon Abyss boat entered stealth mode. But what they didn't know whether to laugh or cry about, was that within the range of the vast sea ocean shroud, there actually wasn't a drop of water. The pyramidal blue light brought the Dragon Abyss boat deeper and deeper into the ocean. Without any water, this Dragon Abyss boat was unable to move forward a hair. Tang San watched stunned as the vessel sank into the depths, then immediately reacted. This vast sea cosmic shroud is water repellent. While speaking he immediately withdrew the vast sea cosmic shroud. Instantly, sea water rushed in, and the Dragon Abyss boat regained control. Nobody knew whether to laugh or cry. Just now they were worrying whether the vast sea cosmic shroud would have any effect underwater, but now it seemed that this thing not only had effect, but even a bit excessive functionality. Tang San sighed lightly. Truly worthy of its vast sea name. Its defense can actually repel water. DouLuo Bai smiled wryly. This might be troublesome. Without the help of the vast sea cosmic shroud, how will we land on Sea God Island? Hearing DouLuo Bai's words, Tang San still smiled. Even if the vast sea cosmic shroud can't help the Dragon Abyss boat move forward, we still have another way. Only, it still needs experimentation, as to whether the vast sea cosmic shroud's water-repelling ability will be influenced by changes in water pressure. While speaking, under everyone's puzzled gazes, Tang San once again released that precious ability of the spirit tool, the vast sea barrier. Hidden by blue light, the Dragon Abyss boat sank gently, slowly moving towards the bottom of the sea. The further the vessel sank, the duller the light outside became. When its depth surpassed 100 meters, the sea outside had already turned pitch black. Only the light blue radiance of the vast sea barrier could illuminate the surroundings. The Dragon Abyss boat sank constantly. Tang San always watched the changes in the vast sea barrier. According to the explanation of the auctioneer when they bought the Dragon Abyss boat, it could endure the water pressure down to 300 meters. Right now they were inside the Dragon Abyss boat, so even if the vast sea barrier couldn't stand the pressure, their safety would still be guaranteed. As the depth surpassed 100 meters, Tang San suddenly sensed a change in the vast sea barrier. His heart shivering, he immediately focused his attention, prepared to pour even more spirit power into it at a moment's notice. However, astounding him, the vast sea barrier wasn't unable to bear the pressure, but rather gradually grew brighter under the larger and larger water pressure. Gathering the purple god light to watch carefully, Tang San discovered that, outside the vast sea barrier, there were constantly extremely minute specks of blue light merging into it. Not only didn't it damage the vast sea barrier, instead it gave it a kind of solid feeling. Ever since he was seriously injured in the fight with the deep-sea demon whale last time, Tang San discovered that the vast sea cosmic shroud's light had faded a lot. But now here in the deep ocean, that light in the deep seemed to gradually restore it. What was going on here? Could it be that the vast sea barrier absorbed the power of the ocean? Through careful observation, Tang San confirmed his estimate. What astonished him the most was that after this vast sea cosmic shroud absorbed the energy of the ocean through its own vast sea barrier ability, his own body also began to change. After his injuries last time, the scorching heat from his spirit bones had reduced a lot, but now with the vast sea cosmic shroud absorbing the energy of the ocean, that scorching hot feeling began to return, and even grew even more intense. But that scorching heat didn't make him feel unwell, on the contrary it made his body seem to become enriched. Even though the spirit power within him didn't suffer any influence, Tang San felt his mind and qi become clear, his reaction and attention swiftly upgrading. Tang San basically had no way of understanding the reasons for this. The vast sea cosmic shroud wasn't one of his spirit bones, and even less one of his spirit abilities, but rather a spirit tool's ability. How could spirit tools cause this kind of effect? Why could only his spirit power activate it, and after it absorbed the energy of the outside world it would also influence his body? This might not be explainable as mere fate. He naturally didn't know that ever since the vast sea cosmic shroud absorbed a drop of his blood, it had already become a part of his body. Even though it wasn't a spirit bone, it was still another kind of phenomenon. The water in this area of the sea wasn't deep. According to Tang San's calculations, once the Dragon Abyss boat had sunk roughly 200 meters, it already struck the seabed. Everywhere on the seafloor were beautiful corals, extremely gorgeous under the muted blue light of the vast sea barrier. Of course, these were only the circumstances when viewed from inside the barrier. From the outside this area was still pitch black. Smiling slightly, Tang San said, "It seems my new method should be feasible. Come on, let's go outside." Outside? Everyone looked shocked at him, for a moment still unable to parse the meaning of what he said. Tang San smiled slightly. "Of course we're going outside, since the vast sea barrier is water repellent, and moreover doesn't fear the water pressure. Even though we can't move the Dragon Abyss boat, why can't we just walk?" Ma Hongzhen's eyes opened wide. Walking across the seabed? Does that work too? Thinking normally, this was the ocean, and moreover the bottom of the ocean, how could they exist here? But thinking carefully about what Tang San said, it really was feasible. Tang San smiled. Why not? Isn't walking on the bottom of the ocean quite interesting? Let alone when we still have the stealth ability of the vast sea barrier. Even if we didn't, those demon spirit great white sharks wouldn't come trouble us at the bottom of the ocean. While speaking, he had already opened the Dragon Abyss boat's hatch. Holding Xiao Wu, he was the first to leap out. Until they left the ship, and truly stood on those slippery and wet corals on the bottom of the ocean, everyone still didn't dare believe that everything they saw was real. Even though they couldn't see very far, this dimly lit place really was the bottom of the ocean. When they just moved away from the Dragon Abyss boat, including Tang San, everyone's hearts held some apprehension. But after discovering they really could breathe here, and moreover didn't touch a single drop of seawater, everyone still gradually relaxed. Oscar said pensively. "Little San, since this vast sea barrier can let us hide in the ocean, wouldn't it be a lot easier to land on Sea God Island if we used it to hide while flying?" Tang San shook his head. "No. I tried it once. If the vast sea barrier is used while flying, the vast sea cosmic shroud will quickly drain my spirit power. I don't know why. Perhaps it's because of the speed. That time flew for roughly the time of 3 breaths, and the vast sea barrier swallowed close to half my spirit power. It's basically impossible to support us that far. Even if I used it while walking on dry land, the spirit power consumption would still be enormous. Overall, this ability is most suited to stationary defense." Dai Mubai said. Then can your spirit power hold up while we walk all the way to Sea God Island? In fact, since this is the ocean, if you can't keep up when we've gone halfway, we might be done for even with the Dragon Abyss boat. Because then we will be in the territory of the Devil Spirit Great White Sharks. Tang San looked at the blue light distributed outside the vast sea barrier. Before submerging, I didn't have any certainty either. By my calculations, if I had your help, walking shouldn't be a problem. But now I can tell you with certainty, we can absolutely easily land on Sea God Island. Because for some reason, in the depths of this ocean, the vast sea cosmic barrier is absorbing the energy of the sea, actually considerably reducing my own consumption. Bringing us to Sea God Island is absolutely no problem. Zhu Zuqing said. Then this means the vast sea cosmic barrier should be a spirit tool suited to use in the ocean. Tang San pondered, then said. Very possible. There's no time to lose, we'll land on Sea God Island before anything else. Don't walk too quickly, keep together, I'll use the Blue Silver Emperor to control our distance. 7 strands of Blue Silver Emperor flew out. Tang San directly tied Xiaowu on his back, both hands pulling her slender legs close. The other 6 strands of Blue Silver Emperor each twisted around the other 6. Withdrawing the Dragon Abyss boat, he then urged the vast sea cosmic shroud, and they began to walk forward on the seabed. Walking on the bottom of the ocean was a lot harder than walking on dry land. The ground was uneven, giving people a feeling of a mountain range. Fortunately everyone were strong, and they could advance swiftly even when faced with extremely difficult terrain. Tang San had already made certain their direction while they were sinking. This Sea God Island was a fairly large island, more than 4 times the area of Purple Pearl Island. As long as they headed in the right direction, they would definitely reach it. Gradually, everyone felt the seabed rising. They knew that, having experienced numerous difficulties, they were finally about to step onto their goal. When the light around them gradually grew brighter as they approached the shore, Tang San walking furthest ahead suddenly halted, whispering. Hold your breath. As everyone else also stopped at the same time, holding their breaths as Tang San said, an enormous white shadow quietly swept past 20 meters ahead, just like a specter in the sea, disappearing in the blink of an eye. That was a more than 10-meter-long white shark, its whole body appearing perfectly streamlined, its white skin with a kind of faint luster, incomparably fast. Where it passed, the sea water seemed to ripple strangely. The words Devil Spirit Great White Shark appeared almost simultaneously in everyone's minds. Their luck really didn't count as good, the Devil Spirit Great White Sharks hadn't gone out to hunt. Only fortunately they had the vast sea barrier's stealth ability to shelter them, and they didn't truly come into conflict with such a powerful sea spirit beast. Moving forward again, Tang San deliberately raised the pace. This was the ocean, and they moreover didn't know quite what degree the vast sea cosmic shroud's stealth ability reached. The sooner they got out of the water, the safer they would be. Finally, the ground under their feet gradually turned to sand, and their surroundings brightened. Everyone step by step left the sea. As they saw the light of the sky, including Tang San, everyone couldn't keep from cheering. The Shrek 7 Devils plus Bai Chen Xiang, these 8 youngsters without the ability to swim, had successfully crossed the ocean, arriving at their goal, Sea God Island. Precisely because their journey wasn't untroubled, at this moment they felt particularly accomplished. Everyone looked at each other, all seeing their faces brimming with excited smiles. Tang San was the calmest one. Setting foot on Sea God Island, he immediately felt that this place was different. Never mind the scenery, what struck him first was the temperature. By all reason, now that it was already winter, even if the temperature at sea would be a bit higher than inland, it would still feel cold. But, after they set foot on Sea God Island, the first feeling was warmth, like spring. As far as the eye could see, Sea God Island was completely green. This enormous island gave them a feeling like they had returned to the DouLuo continent. Wherever they looked, they basically couldn't see the limits. The island was covered with plants, very many they couldn't name. The air held a blatant scent of the ocean, fresh, humid, refreshing, with the faint raucous of seabirds on the wind. The beach glittered in the sunshine, pure white and exquisite specks of silvery light like tiny crystals. The first time here, the first one felt was pure calm, the sea and the sky of one color, gulls soaring above. The sky was dark blue, a lofty blue, pure blue, transparent blue. Like Tang San's eyes, unspeakably moving. Looking at this shocking scene, the excitement in everyone's eyes was gradually replaced by wonder. Tang San softly held Xiaowu to his chest. Xiao Wu, this place is very beautiful. Once we've finished what we have to do, we'll get Dad and Mom to spend their old age here, okay? The soulless Xiao Wu naturally wouldn't answer him, but Tang San still seemed to see the harmonious scene of their family on this silver beach and jade sea. On the verge of truly facing the Sea God Island's challenges, after a brief excitement, everyone rested a while, replenishing their strength and recovering the previously consumed spirit power. Very soon, Tang San tightly held Xiao Wu and opened his eyes, his gaze sweeping across his companions. What he saw was resolute gazes. To them, all of their previous experiences was only the prelude. This moment would count as the true beginning of their experience on Sea God Island. Light flashed in Tang San's eyes, the vast sea barrier that had always protected them returning to the spot between his eyes. Viewed from outside, the 8 of them seemed to appear on the beach out of nowhere, appearing along with the vast sea cosmic shroud vanishing. Without need for words, automatically forming up with a tacit understanding, Dai Mubai walked furthest ahead, Ma Hongjun last. On the sides were Oscar and Zhu Zuqing, Tang San bringing Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong and Bai Chenxiang in the middle. The hearts of the group of 8 were now filled with courage, stepping across that soft as silk beach, heading towards the depths of Sea God Island. Having faced so many twists and turns on the way here, they were already prepared for any challenge. That wasn't just courage, but even more a kind of conviction. The refreshing moist atmosphere was enchanting, but right now everyone's minds were already on high tension. Just as Tang San was about to release his blue-silver domain, a somewhat stunned voice came from the forest straight ahead. People! Along with a low shout, 7 or 8 shadows suddenly leapt out from the trees, blocking everyone's road forward. These people all had different appearances, but their clothes had a uniform characteristic, that was training gear, light yellow. The oldest was in his 40s, the youngest was about the same age as Tang San and the others. Altogether 8 people, forming a line blocking the Shrek 7 Devils and Bai Chenxiang's path into the forest ahead. Tang San had heard Ji Xiang speak of the color of the Sea God Island Spirit Masters' clothing. The Sea Spirit Masters of Sea God Island could be ranked by the color of their clothing, but this wasn't a spirit power ranking, but rather through the difficulty of the Sea God trials they faced. The more difficult their trial was, the higher their status on Sea God Island, and the color of their clothes was thereby differentiated. From lowest to highest, they were arrayed according to the color of spirit rings. These yellow-clothed Sea Spirit Masters in front of them were clearly second-class Spirit Masters just higher than white-clothed ones. Above them was still purple, black, and red. According to what Ji Xiang said, on the Sea God Island, only the High Priest was entitled to wearing red. That was also the person Clear Sky School Master Tang Xiao described to Tang San, the number 1 power on Sea God Island, possessing the Sea God spirit. Ji Xiang had lived on the island for more than 10 years, but never seen that legendary High Priest himself. 8 versus 8, but these 8 people looked at Tang San and the others with gazes filled with astonishment. They couldn't imagine how people would suddenly show up here. Halting, Dai Mubai said brightly. We admire the fame of Sea God Island, and hope to pass the trials and join the island. The leader of the other 8, just that oldest middle-aged man, looked Dai Mubai up and down a few times, then said with a frown. Your land spirit masters. Dai Mubai looked distracted a moment. You can tell. The middle-aged man said coldly. You of course can't sense it. But we Sea Spirit Masters can still see it. Leave immediately. Sea God Island doesn't welcome you. Even if I don't know how you stepped onto our island, you can leave the way you came. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. Tang San stepped up next to Dai Mubai, frowning slightly. Can't Sea God Island be joined through passing the trials? Why do you keep people away? The middle-aged man snorted coldly. It seems you still have some understanding of Sea God Island. Me letting you leave is for your own good. Dry land spirit masters passing the trials to join our island is basically impossible. The Lord Sea God's trials for land spirit masters isn't something you can pass. Leave if you don't want to die. It's good for the young to be brave, but if it's only impulsiveness, you will still forfeit your lives. Tang San and Dai Mubai looked at each other. The two of them couldn't help having a good opinion of this middle-aged man. Tang San smiled slightly. Senior, since we've come, we won't easily leave. No matter what the trial, we wish to try it. As you said, impulsiveness is to forfeit our lives, but if we lose our courage, we're still not suited to be spirit masters. Tang San spoke the last sentence as resolutely as slicing iron, his voice filled with something of a spiritual force shock. Among the people they were talking to, besides the middle-aged man, the other 7 sea spirit masters subconsciously retreated 2 steps. Seeing that divine light in Tang San's eyes, they were even more astonished. The middle-aged man scowled. I'll give you one more chance. Leave, or take the Lord Sea God's trial. I want to warn you, if you accept the trial, there will be no chance to withdraw halfway. Even if you lose your life because of it. It seems your cultivation should be pretty good, however, the Lord Sea God's trials are unrelated to cultivation. A simple one might have you grab a grain of sand, but a difficult one might have you go challenge 100,000-year spirit beast. Are you really prepared? Besides Xiao Wu, the Shrek 7 Devils and Bai Chenxiang spoke practically with the same voice. Yes, we accept the trial. The middle-aged man looked deeply at them, muttering a few words to a young yellow-clothed sea spirit master next to him. His way of speaking was very peculiar, as if a strange sound wave buzzing, making Tang San and the others unable to hear his voice. That young yellow-clothed sea spirit master agreed deferentially, and swiftly turned and left. The middle-aged man said to the Shrek party. I hope you don't regret it. Follow me. Speaking, he brought those yellow-clothed sea spirit masters and turned to walk into the forest. The Shrek 7 Devils immediately returned to their previous formation, following behind these yellow-clothed sea spirit masters, vigilantly entering the forest. Who knew from when the trial would begin? Having already set foot on the island, no matter the circumstances, they would stay alert at all times. If the air on the beach was described as moist and pure, then the air within the forest was filled with the freshness of nature. Breathing the air here seemed even better than in the Star Do Great Forest. The Shrek 7 Devils' vigilance seemed unnecessary. Advancing through the lush forest, they didn't seem to encounter any situation. Leaving Tang San a bit pleasantly surprised was that, even on this sea god island, the ground in the forest was filled with blue-silver grass. However, as he tried to connect with the blue-silver grass through the blue-silver domain, his spiritual force seemed to discover a kind of peculiar energy pervading the forest. Even though he could connect with the blue-silver grass, he still couldn't examine anything through the blue-silver domain. As if this forest was protected by an incorporeal force. The middle-aged man walking ahead suddenly halted, turning, he looked at Tang San with a burning gaze. Don't try to use spiritual force to examine anything. This is Sea God Island, everything here is blessed by the Lord Sea God. Tang San's heart was shocked, this was just a yellow-clothed level sea spirit master on Sea God Island, but he could actually sense his spiritual force probe? Or did it mean there was some special force here that let him sense him releasing his spiritual force? The middle-aged man kept leading them forward. Not long after, passing through the forest, the scene in front of them immediately shocked the Shrek 7 Devils. Ji Xiang hadn't clarified much about Sea God Island to Tang San, only simply mentioned the sea spirit masters, because he was afraid of blaspheming the sea god. Now, appearing in front of Tang San's 8 was actually a pool like a sea within a sea. Most strangely was that the inland pool that should have been flat, actually surged with large waves like the sea, without any wind. All around the pool was dense forest. It appeared to be about 500 meters in diameter, and at the center of the pool was a triangular platform, on which towered a bizarre obelisk. The obelisk was conical, with a bizarre relief carved on top, the whole column covered with countless inscriptions that seemed to be characters. Incorporeal strange energies emanated from the strange pillar. With purple demon eye, Tang San could clearly see a person sitting below the obelisk, eyes closed, back to the pillar, as if meditating. And this person's clothes were black. Coming here, the yellow-clothed middle-aged spirit master seemed quite reserved, while those young yellow-clothed spirit masters also stood respectfully to the side, not even daring to be imposing. Welcome to the sea within the sea, Seahorse Sacred Pillar. The yellow-clothed middle-aged man spoke in a particular tone. The Seahorse Sacred Pillar is one of Seahot Island's 7 sacred pillars. The sea god bestowed the 7 sacred pillars with divine force, to spread divine decrees through the pillars. Any one sacred pillar can conduct the trials for outside spirit masters. You will get the topic for the Lord Sea God's trial here. Finished speaking, he turned towards the triangular platform in the sea within the sea, making a deferential 90-degree bow, and urging his spirit power to make his voice carry. This moment, this middle-aged man released his spirit practically subconsciously. 2 yellow, 3 purple, 1 black, a quite good spirit ring configuration appeared around him. This middle-aged man was actually a more than 60th ranked spirit emperor. Just yellow-clothed and already a spirit emperor? The Shrek 7 Devils shivered inwardly at the same time. Reporting to Lord Seahorse, outside land spirit masters have come to take the trial, please permit it. Urged by his spirit power, the yellow-clothed middle-aged man's voice travelled in a straight line, hiding the sound of the torrential waves of the sea within the sea. That black-clothed man sitting upright on the triangular platform by the seahorse sacred pillar suddenly opened his eyes. From where he sat to the shore was more than 200 meters, but the instant he looked over, the Shrek 7 devils on the shore couldn't help shivering. That grudging gaze was like two deep ponds, and even over such a distance, each of them still felt that black-clothed man's power. Title DouLuo, the two words representing the highest level of the spirit master world flashed through Tang San's mind, making the judgment the instant he saw that black-clothed man's eyes. No mistake, that was the particular aura only Title DouLuo possessed. This black-clothed man was also the first Title DouLuo level sea spirit master they met since coming to the Great Sea. A sonorous powerful voice echoed. Different from the yellow-clothed man, this voice didn't travel in a line, but seemed to mix with the sound of the water and the waves. Land spirit masters want to take the majestic sea god's trials? You will only be qualified by passing the sea within the sea to stand in front of the seahorse sacred pillar. While speaking, behind the seahorse DouLuo brightened a blue dim light. Immediately afterward, the seahorse sacred pillar behind him abruptly brightened, an azure light traveling from below to the top of the sacred pillar. With the top of the seahorse sacred pillar, a blue ripple suddenly surged out, like a blue screen laying horizontally above the sea within the sea. Since the seahorse sacred pillar was 10 meters tall, this blue screen floating above the sea within the sea was also 10 meters high. No need to ask, this 10-meter height was the restriction for flight and spatial abilities. Tang San's brows wrinkled, looking towards the yellow-clothed middle-aged man who brought them here. Senior, don't tell me we have to also take a Title DouLuo's trial before accepting the Lord Sea God's trial? Don't tell me you think we can fight a Title DouLuo. The yellow-clothed middle-aged man hung his head. Dry land spirit masters' trials were different from sea spirit masters from the start. I don't know how Lord Seahorse is testing you, but I can be certain that everything Lord Seahorse does is according to the decrees of the Lord Sea God. You still have a chance to leave. Seeing the yellow-clothed middle-aged man's calm appearance, Tang San understood. The first trial after coming to Sea God Island had already arrived. Just as he prepared to bring Xiaowu to try crossing the sea, Daimyo Bai stepped forward before he could, blocking Tang San behind him. I'll try. Tang San and Daimyo Bai looked at each other. After Daimyo Bai nodded faintly to him, he stepped onto the shore of the sea within the sea, stepping onto that equally silver glittering beach. As the boss of the Shrek 7 devils, Daimyo Bai's strength was second only to Tang San, and he was also the oldest. Letting him try it first, even if he failed, afterward Tang San could still assist and adapt. But if Tang San was first to fail, circumstances would be a lot more passive. Consequently, Daimyo Bai was first to rise. Daimyo Bai clenched his fists, slowly raising them in front of him to the top of his head, at the same time also raising his head. Those yellow-clothed sea spirit masters' gazes unconsciously fell on him. They could all clearly feel an aura filled with intimidation emanate from Daimyo Bai, the aura of the king. Finish here. Likes, subscribes and comments. Love for all.